We've been talking a lot about building and maintaining collaborative relationships with families in this class. Earlier in the course, we talked about the importance of how we interact with families. Our interactions can make or break any chance we have of building a collaborative relationship. Specifically, we explored the fact that family-centered practices are the how we should interact with families in order to build this relationship. The collaborative relationship is built on trust and respect. And this relationship must be a place where families feel confident and competent in their roles as parents and feel that they are partners in their relationship with you. Those are the important outcomes. But now we're going to talk about some of the methods, strategies, and activities that professionals can use to connect with families. But we have to always remember that the how we interact with families is really what will make the difference. When people ask me, what is the it I'm supposed to do to engage families? My immediate response is that there isn't one it. In fact, you need to do different kinds of its, and you need to do them very frequently. So having a parent-teacher conference at the start and the end of the school year is not what I'm talking about. One activity done twice a year is not, and I repeat, not going to build a collaborative, family-centered relationship. Building a collaborative relationship with families begins with the professional learning about the family as soon as they get to know they're going to be teaching the child. One of the best ways and most effective ways to begin to build this relationship is to do a home visit if the parent is willing. This allows you to see the family in their context, in their environment, and you will learn so much about the family, what is important to them, what might be some of the challenges they're facing, some of the solutions they found to these challenges, and what are their strengths. Remember that first exercise you did with the line drawing and you had to identify 25 strengths in that family? When you are in the space of the family, they will often relax and be willing to share with you much more information. And if the child is around, you will also learn much about the child and what she or he can do when in a familiar environment with the family. If you can't do a home visit, then try scheduling a time for a conversation with each family in the first week or so after starting to work with the child, either by phone or after school. But it's better if it's in person. Describe to the parents that you want to introduce yourself and get to know the family better. For this first conversation, try to create a context where the family is comfortable, not under a lot of time pressure, so that you really can take time to have a conversation. For example, when the parent is picking their child up from school and there are other children waiting in the car, this is not a good time for this type of conversation. What other ideas can you think about creating space that is relaxed, informal, and unhurried so you can have a solid conversation with the family? How about a coffee shop or meeting at the park so the kids can be occupied? So there are lots of strategies for creating an early opportunity to get to know the family. Find the strategy that works best for the family and you. But I really hope you'll consider doing home visits. You just get so much information, and you're clearly saying to the family, you matter to me. I want to take the time to come and see you. Of course, if the family doesn't want you to meet in their home, then find some other place that's neutral, like the park or the coffee shop. Some families have had bad experiences at school, and having to come to school for a meeting is very uncomfortable to them, and you need to honor this. So now, to continue building a collaborative relationship, it is important that you have a strong individual communication strategy so that you can reach parents frequently and they can reach you. Communication systems that go both ways include, but are not limited to, phone calls, text, emailing, FaceTime. Even the low-tech, unglamorous notebook or folder that goes back and forth between home and school is a communication system that can work effectively. It really depends on whether the family is comfortable with it. A printed newsletter is not a communication system for building a collaborative relationship because it doesn't go both ways. It might be, and I'm only saying might be, a good way to share information with the family, but it is not designed to get information from families. Technology is changing so fast, and there are so many other methods for two-way communication on the horizon that I'm sure you'll be able to find lots of ways that work. It's important that you don't take a one-size-fits-all approach when you are developing a two-way communication system with a family. Not all families have the same resources, and different methods work best for different families. Of course, you don't have all the time in the world to manage 5 or 6 different communication methods, so you may also not have access to some of the resources that the families have. You need to work with each family to find out what works best for both of you. Remember that the goal is to communicate frequently with lots of positive information about what is happening in the school. It's also important that you provide parents a variety of ways to actively engage their child in learning, either in the classroom or in the home, depending on what works best for the family. Oftentimes families parents are working 2 or 3 jobs, just don't have the time to be able to come into the classroom or to participate in many activities that are happening in the school. In the classroom, parents can read or do learning activities with children, help create materials needed for class, organize or attend events on site, participate in councils or committee meetings. There's lots of opportunities to help families participate in the school and in the learning of their child in that context. Teachers can also provide parents with guidance about what they can do at home to help their children learn, such as reading books to their children, doing a project together, helping their child do homework, talking with their child about what they're learning at school, playing learning games on the computer with their child, etc. I'm sure you can think of many unique ways to provide parents a way to actively engage in their child's learning, both at home and in the classroom. In summary, remember, if you want a collaborative relationship with parents of the children that you support and teach, then you have to get to know the family. Develop effective ways of communication with each family, and then communicate frequently and positively. Be sure that during each interaction, you're using practices that build the relationship with families and practices that build the parents' confidence. If you do these things, you will build a collaborative relation with parents. And through that relationship, together, you will enhance the development and learning of the child, which is in fact the goal, what we're really all after.